Hey, all right. Last week we had exam 2, so that was on chapter 3, 4, and 5. We'll have a chance in lab to talk about the test a little bit more, just like we did after exam 1. And if you want to stick around afterwards, you can look and see what you missed. I think I mentioned this in class or probably on one of these videos earlier. Exam 2, it's my opinion, is the toughest exam that we've got. So do not stress completely if your grade was a little bit lower on exam 2 than it was on the first exam. All right. Now, let me say this though. I was really surprised. There were a lot of students that did better on exam 2. I'm taking time out of this video to say if that was you, that's awesome. Keep doing what you're doing because the test got tougher, I think, and your grade went up. If you'll keep doing that for the next exam, I think it's going to show even more. So let that be encouraging. If you didn't do as well as you wanted to, remember exam 2 is a little bit tougher. So I think if you'll study hard for the next one, you'll have a little bit more to show for it. Anyway, we'll have more time to talk about all that, but I just wanted to say that right off the bat. So for this week, let's look at the lectures you need to be watching. We've got 2 chapters this week. The good news is they're both really short. Chapter 7 is on photosynthesis. That one, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's like an hour or 20 minutes or so. And then chapter 8 is on cellular respiration. It's less than an hour. So even though you're watching 2, that's about the same length of time as just one regular lecture. So don't let that scare you. Now, having said that, these are really dense chapters. There's a lot of information that's packed in there. All right, so I just want you to be aware this is not something you need to watch with the TV on and your phone doing something else. You really need to focus on these, but they are short, so that's the good news. All right, because there's a lot of stuff. So what we're going to be doing, if you remember, if you watched chapter 6 last week, we talked about metabolic pathways or different reactions that take place. So we're going to be looking at all of the steps that happen in photosynthesis, and then in chapter 8, we're going to look at all the steps that happen in cellular respiration. And that can be a lot. So what I did to help you kind of organize your thoughts and study and prepare for it is I made a review worksheet. There's actually 2 worksheets, one for photosynthesis and one for cellular respiration. In a normal semester, what we would do is I would lecture and then I'd pass out the worksheet and you could like fill it out with me. I would tell you what to put where, and it's a really good way to study. So for this hybrid class, what I've done is I recorded a video where I do the same thing. So what I want you to do, watch the lectures first. After you've watched the lectures, print off that review the review worksheet, and then watch the video, and I'm going to tell you how to fill it out. And I think that's a really great way to have that filled out, and you can use that to study, to prepare for the test. All right. The review quiz is going to be Sunday, March 7th, so just make sure that you do the review quiz by then. And then just go ahead and tell you that exam 3 is going to be next week. So that'll be Group A. You'll take it on Tuesday, it's going to be the 9th. And then Group B, you'll take it on Thursday, the 11th. Really quick turnaround between exam 2 and exam 3. I think that's a good thing. Let me try my best to convince you that, is that if you needed a really good grade to boost your grade up, if I said the next exam was like a month from now, then that's a long time for you to have to study and prepare, and you're going to have to keep up being a really good student for a month long. That can be kind of tough. The fact that this exam is coming up pretty soon, you can just really bear down and study. And I think if you do that for a couple weeks or a week and a half, however long, that's going to pay off and you'll get a good grade from that. All right. So just be looking over that, and any questions you have, we can talk about that in lab. So for lab this week, it's on diffusion and osmosis. I know that was something back in chapter 5 that we talked about, but just with our hybrid schedule, we got to do labs whenever they're set up for us. So we're going to meet in our regular lab room. Be sure to bring your lab manual and all that. And then, the groups. Group A, you'll meet on Tuesday. Group B, you'll meet on Thursday. This is a shorter lab, so what I'm going to try to do is do a little bit of a review. Your lab test is coming up not too long, within a couple weeks from now. So we'll try to do a little bit of a review so you can start preparing and getting ready for the lab midterm. All right? If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you all next week.